So I started screaming. It's like, Pop, he's not breathing. He's not breathing. I was like, Kion. And he started breathing again. And then Pop was like, come on, let's go. So me, him, and Lovey hightailed in that doggone car. We got in that car along with Jackson, like, come on, let's go. Loaded up in the car, and he drove us to the ER, the Children's Hospital in D.C. So we get there, and I'm just like, I rush to the check-in. I'm just like, he's having trouble with his breathing. He's not really breathing. I'm like, he had stopped breathing at one point, and the nurse was like, okay, come on, let's go. I'm gonna take him on back. And I was just like, yeah, he was a preemie. He has chronic lung disease, so they getting him checked out and stuff. They putting him on the ventilator, and like they lay him on the bed, and he's just like, yeah, it looks like he's pulling really hard, trying really hard to breathe. And I'm like, yeah, and I was explaining how he was on oxygen and how he was a preemie because they didn't have any of his medical records because he just got out a month ago. So yeah, well, a little over a month ago, but yeah, they didn't have any medical records, so I had to go through that whole spiel. So we sitting there, and they're like doing their tests on him, running their tests and stuff, and I'm just like praying, like, please, Pop's praying, Lovey's praying, and then D come rushing in, like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, they got him stable, they got him calm. And then he was just like, she can leave. And I looked at him like, huh? He was just like, yeah, Lovey, she can leave. I was like, oh, okay, all right, well, Pop was like, well, okay, we're gonna step out. Like, we're gonna step out. We're gonna give you guys your space. We're gonna step out. Like, go grab something to drink or something. Like, do you guys want anything? I was like, no, we're fine. He's like, okay, well, we're gonna step out. And it's just me and D in there with Kaya. And he was just like, I don't like how she was just sitting here taking pictures. I was like, what? I took pictures of him too. It's just like one of those things. Make sure. I don't know. I don't know, D. Like, I don't know. She's like, but that's weird that she's in here taking pictures while he's in the hospital. I was like, well, D, we don't know what's going on with him. Because at this point, I'm just trying to, like, change the subject. Because every time he talks about something that he doesn't like, he gets angry with me for no reason. And I'm like, right now, at this moment, I have a son right here on this hospital bed that's having trouble breathing. They cannot figure out what's going on with him because he's not popping for the flu or anything. So they're trying to figure out what's going on with him. And you want to talk about your dad's fiance being in here taking pictures. What? They rushed me here. Like, what? So the doctor come out, thankfully. The doctor come in and it's like, well, we don't see anything that could be wrong with him other than the chronic lung disease. I was just like, no, do a chest x-ray. Because up until this point, they have not performed a chest x-ray. I was like, do a chest x-ray. Because you would think that they would have done a chest x-ray if he's having trouble breathing and he's not popping for the flu or anything. Don't you think you need to look at his lungs? So I was annoyed because I'm just like, ain't no way I got to tell y'all how to do y'all job. I was like, do a chest x-ray. Do a chest x-ray. I want an x-ray of his chest. I'm not leaving him. Like, if they discharged me on New Year's Day and they said it was just a cold and I'm back here. No, do a chest x-ray. Just like, okay, we'll do an x-ray. They come back with the x-ray results. He has pneumonia. He had walking pneumonia. Like, both of his lungs was full. And they instantly rushed him to the PICU. Instantly, when it came back that he had the pneumonia, they instantly rushed him to the PICU, the pediatric intensive care unit in the hospital. And I'm like, see, I knew it, because then they had to put him back on the oxygen and bump up his oxygen because he just could not breathe on his own. And I'm just like, and I bet you they would have sent me home. Anyway, side note, parents, make sure you advocate for your kids when you take them to the hospital. Because Lord knows, I think if I wouldn't have said do a chest x-ray, they probably wouldn't have did one. But anyway, so they get him set up in the PICU or whatever not, and I'm just like, I'm talking to D. I was like, okay, so they put him back in the hospital. So how are we gonna do this? Like with Jackson and working and things. He was like, well, I still gotta go to work. I'm the general manager because at this time he is now working at a gym where he is the general manager. So his boss was this black lady. She owned the gym, but she wasn't there because she had other businesses. So she wanted somebody to run the gym, which D runs the gym. So he calls himself the general manager. That's his title. He's the general manager at the gym. So he's like, no, I gotta be at the gym. I gotta work. And I'm just like, okay, well, I just started my job too. So like, what are we gonna do? He was just like, well, you just go to work and leave him here. He's in the hospital. I was like, I'm not leaving him in the hospital with nobody here. Like, I'm not gonna do that. He was like, where is he gonna go? I was like, but something could happen. Something could happen. So at this point, I was like, I'm gonna stay the night, and we'll figure something out. Pop and Lovey came in, and they were just like, hey, we're gonna head on out, but we'll come back in the morning. And we'll work something out. Keep us posted on his progress and everything. And I was like, okay. He's like, and if anything happens, call us, because we'll come right on back. I was like, okay. They left, and then D was just like, well, I'm about to go too, because I gotta work in the morning. I'm tired. It's like, okay, well, I just hold it down here. I'll stay here tonight. I'll hold it down. He left. I'm in the hospital with Kaya. I was like, oh, here we go. I ended up texting my boss for my new job while I was there, letting her know, like, hey, my son's in the PICU. I'm not gonna be able to make it in to work tomorrow. So I'm just like, I don't want to have to rush to work and leave him here. Like, no, I don't want to do that. So I called out. So the next day come around, Pop come. He come in early in the morning and to check on everything, and he was just like, I'll stay the night tonight if you want me to. I was just like, no, I'll stay the night. He's like, well, tomorrow I'll come sit with him in the morning so that you can go to work, because I told him that I had to call out of work. He's like, I'm gonna sit with him tomorrow so that you can go to work. What's D gonna do? I was like, I hadn't talked to him yet, but like, we'll figure something out. He said, okay, well, y'all figure something out for today, but tomorrow I'm gonna sit with him tomorrow. So okay, that's cool. You sit with him tomorrow. So he ended up leaving, and D comes and like gives me his update on his day, and that he was finna get ready to go to the gym, and he took Jackson to the bus stop. Jackson should be good. And I'm just like, okay, so what about tonight? Do you want to stay tonight, or you want me to stay tonight? He was like, well, once I get off work, I'm gonna come back here, and then you can go to the house, get Jackson situated, make dinner and all that, and then you can come back. And when you come back, I'll go back to the house and walk the dogs, and and I'll just stay at the house, and you stay here tonight. And I'm just like, okay, all right, that'll work. So did just that. The very next day, Pop came, stayed with Kion for that day while I went to work. While I was at work, Pop was like texting me updates on what was going on with Kion and this and that. Everything was fine. After work, I went to the house, got Jackson situated at the house with dinner, waited till Darian got off work so he could be at the house. And then I left and went to the hospital to relieve Pop. When Pop went back home, so it was a constant rotate. That was the constant rotation between me and Pop. At that point, like after that first time that Darian just stayed that afternoon, he did not stay with Kion anymore in that hospital. No more. It was a rotation of me and Pop. Darian just doing his thing at the gym. I didn't care. So we're now a week and a half into Kion being in the PICU. He was doing good. He was getting better and everything, but the constant driving back and forth was wearing on me, and I was getting tired. So I was literally driving from DC to Rockville, Maryland, like every morning trying to get to work, and I had to be to work at 7:30. So I'm leaving the hospital trying to get to work, fighting traffic and all this, and trying to make sure like Kion's good. It it was stressful. So I called D and I'm just like, look, I'm gonna have to like let this job go for right now because I don't know how long Kion is gonna be in this PICU, and I don't want to keep having to call out for work, and like I'm tired. I'm tired, so I'm gonna just let this job go. But I'm sure I'll be able to find another job because I was certified in my field, and it's like I'm gonna always have a job in the field that I was in. So I'm just like, I'm gonna find another job somewhere else. And he was just like, okay, all right, that's fine. So when he said that was fine, I sent the email to my boss, let him know that I'm like, my son's in the PICU. I don't know how his health is going to be. It's not a good idea for me to be working right now because I won't be able to focus on the job. I appreciate the opportunity and thank you. And I sent it in, and she emailed me back and was just like, whenever your son gets out of the hospital, if you want to come back to work, you can come back to work. And I'm just like, okay, thank you. I'm like, thank you. I'll keep that in mind. It's like, because we don't want to lose you. I'm like, okay, thank you. I'll keep that in mind. So maybe, I think it was like 3 days later, Kion was discharged from the PICU.